Let us continue the chapter, A Polar Explorer, on page number 37. Here you can see a small extract taken from the autobiography of Roald Amundsen, My Life as an Explorer. In his autobiography, he has shared his life experiences. Let's see one of them. One day, two of the boys and I were standing on the deck when one of them claimed. One day, Amundsen and two boys with him. Out of these three, when they were standing on the deck, deck means one of the floors on the ship. When one of them exclaimed, one of them said that there is a caribou. Caribou means the reindeer. He pointed to a small black object just on the skyline of one of the encircling hills. He pointed at one small black object which was on the skyline. Skyline means when we see very far and we can see the sky and the land seems meeting. That line is called skyline. The other man, who had the best vision of the three, looked steadfastly at the black object for a moment and then turned to his companions and said, out of three, the one was having a very good vision, the best vision. His eyesight was very good. He looked steadfastly. Steadfastly means he looked continuously, firmly at that object which was pointed by one of them. And then he turned to his companions and said, that caribou walks on two legs. Sure enough, close scrutiny confirmed his quick perception that this was not a caribou but an Eskimo. And after turning, he said that your caribou walks on two. Usually reindeer is usually having four legs to walk. But this object was having two legs. And this close scrutiny means examination, confirmed his quick perception. Perception means ability to see or hear. That this was not a caribou but was an Eskimo. Some other two-legged caribous joined the first until 5 figures were outlined against the sky. And slowly, 2 more Eskimos joined them, and at last altogether they were 5. Then they advanced towards us in a body. Then all 5 Eskimos advanced means moved towards Roald Amundsen and his team. I sent the 2 boys for their rifles, and then the 3 of us advanced to meet them. Then Amundsen sent his 2 boys to bring the rifles. After getting the rifles, they also moved towards Eskimos. I was in the lead, and behind me came my little army of 2. Amundsen was leading them, and behind him only 2 people were there as his army. As the Eskimos neared us, we could see they were all armed with bows and arrows. When Eskimos reached close to them, they saw that they were having bows and arrows in their hands. This began to look like a ticklish situation. Ticklish situation means very sensitive situation. We had no way of knowing whether their intentions were friendly or hostile. Hostile is the opposite of friendly, of an enemy. So, Amundsen and his team were not knowing whether their intentions are friendly or hostile. Certainly, they were equipped for war. Surely, they all were equipped, were ready for war with their instruments, with their tools, with their weapons. However, these were nothing to do but meet them face to face. Now only there was one option, to meet them face to face. The 2 parties proceeded to within about 15 paces and halted. Paces means steps. Halted means stopped. Clear? Then both the parties, Amundsen's party and this Eskimos party, both the parties moved forward about 15 steps and then both the parties stopped there. I then turned to my army and instructed them ostentatiously to throw their rifles on the ground. Ostentatiously means in a showy manner, okay, or pretending something. He just gave them sign to put their rifles down on the ground. I then turned to the Eskimos. Then after giving this signal to his boys to keep the rifles down, Amundsen again turned towards the Eskimos. Their leader, saying this specific move, imitated it by turning to his followers and uttering a command. Their leader, Eskimos leader, saying this specific move, specific means peaceful move. When Eskimos leader saw this peaceful move, imitated it by turning to his followers. He also turned towards his followers and uttering a command. He gave them some order. They obeyed by throwing their bows and arrows on the ground. Eskimo leader also commanded them to keep their bows and arrows down on the ground and their team followed the instructions. I was unarmed and advanced towards them. Now Amundsen was unarmed. He was not having any weapon with him. And he moved towards Eskimo's team. The Eskimo leader also came out alone. Eskimo's leader also came out alone. It is remarkable how accurately two men can communicate who do not speak a word of a common language and whose whole experience of life seems utterly separated from each other's. Now it was very remarkable that with accurately these two men could understand each other's reaction. Both of them were not knowing language of each other. Their lifestyles were completely different. But still they could understand each other's body language. Expressions of the face, nods and shakes of the head, gesture and tones of the voice convey meaning with astonishing accuracy. Now, expressions of face. We know that when a person is happy, his face will be cheerful. Person is angry, there will be anger on the face. So, by facial expressions, nods and shakes of the head. Nods means shaking head like this. And then, by the gesture. Gesture means the signals or the signs. And tone of the voice. All these can convey the meaning. Okay, with astonishing accuracy. Astonishing means very surprising. Accuracy means with correctness. By these means, I quickly convinced the Eskimo leader that I wished to be his friend, and he reciprocated my wish. With all these means, with his facial expressions, his gesture, and with his tone, he could make Eskimo leader understand that he wanted to make him his friend. And the same Eskimo leader also did. Reciprocated means repay in same way. Okay, repay someone's action in the same way. Soon we were all friends and I invited them down to our ship. Very soon Eskimos and Amundsen's team became friends and Amundsen invited Eskimos on his ship. So this was the small extract taken from his autobiography. In June 1928, aged 55, Amundsen was traveling in a plane on a rescue mission when it disappeared. 1928 in month of June, where Amundsen was traveling in a plane on a rescue mission. In one rescue mission, he was with his team members when it disappeared. The plane was fully disappeared. Amundsen and the rest of the crew were never seen again. After that, nobody knows what happened with them. Now, on page number 35, you can see some of Amundsen's achievements in this box given. He was the first to pass through the Northwest Passage in the Arctic Ocean. He was the first one to pass through the Northwest Passage from Atlantic to the Pacific through the Arctic Ocean. He was in the first expedition to reach the South Pole on 14 December 1921. When he reached to the South Pole on 14 December 1911, he was the member of the crew that time. In 1926, he led a successful expedition to the North Pole. This time, he himself was the leader of the crew, and he had his own ship, Zoa, when he reached to the North Pole. He is recognized as the first person to have reached both the poles. So this is all about Roald Amundsen. I hope the chapter is clear to you. Read it twice and understand it. Okay, one thing is left over, page number 38. Get ready with that. The South Pole and North Pole. What is the difference between both? Let us complete that also. Page number 38. On the continent of Antarctica, 1300 kilometers from the sea. The South Pole is on the continent of Antarctica, and that is 1300 kilometers from the sea level. Opposite that, North Pole in the middle of the Arctic Ocean, which is a mass of shifting sea ice. Then the land is covered in ice and snow 2700 meters thick in South Pole, and in North Pole the ice cap is shrinking due to the climate change. Ice cap is shrinking due to the climate change, but South Pole is always covered with snow. No sunlight from March to September. In South Pole we cannot have any sunlight from March to September. But in North Pole, no sunlight from September to March. In South Pole, no native plants and animals can be seen. But in North Pole, seals have been spotted at the North Pole, and polar bears and Arctic foxes are sometimes seen nearby. South Pole is colder than the North Pole, and North Pole is warmer than the South Pole, but still very cold. Comparing both the poles, North Pole is warmer than the South Pole. Scientists live in the US Amundsen Scott Ice Station all year round in South Pole. And in North Pole, the nearest inhabited land is a Canadian town, 817 kilometers away from the North Pole. Now likewise, our chapter is complete. Hope it is clear to you. Thank you.